Hey, it's Mr. C, and welcome back to our Level 6 Math. Today we're going to do Saxon Math lesson number 52. This is about mentally dividing decimal numbers by 10 and 100. And when we say we're mentally dividing, that means this is a pretty easy concept because we very rarely do mental math, right? We usually write it out. So this is just a pretty easy concept today. Although it does trip people up from time to time. Actually, I even struggle with this from time to time, just remembering, because it's just one little rule, but you have to remember it, okay? So we're going to divide a decimal number by 10 and 100, and we could do this to 1,000 or 10,000. We could keep going up because it's just one principle. Here's the principle. When we divide a decimal number by 10 or 100, the quotient has the same digits as the dividend, so it's still the same numbers. All that's happened is the position of the digits has shifted, so we're just moving it over. Another way to say that is we're just moving the decimal over a place. So if we're dividing 12.5 by 10, we're still having 12.5. We've just shifted that decimal over 1 point. If we're doing 12.5 divided by 100, again, we're just shifting the decimal over. Here they're doing it by showing that you just bring in the extra zeros to calculate for that. And we could do this problem out. All you have to do is remember just to shift over the decimal 1 point, okay? So we're going to shift it one place to the right if it's 1 0. If we're dividing by 10, that has 1 0. If we're dividing by 100, that has 2 zeros, so we'll go 2 digits to the right. If we're dividing by 1,000, that's 3 digits to the right, etc. So we just keep moving it. That's the same as dividing and moving the decimal point to the left. So we're shifting the digits to the right, but the decimal place is going to the left. I know that sounds confusing. Let's just do a few problems. All right, so divide 37.5 by 10. So we're just going to shift it, the decimal point, to the left because the digits are shifting to the right. So, and if you think about that, dividing it by 10, that's going to make it a smaller number. So instead of 37.5, now we're just going to be 3.75. So we know it's going to be less than 37.5, so we're just going to shift the decimal 1 point to the left. 3.75. All right, now if we just do that by 2 zeros divided by 100, now we're going to shift the decimal point 2 to the left. Except there's nothing there, and remember we did this a few lessons ago. If you have to shift more than there are numbers, you just fill that in with a 0. So we're going to shift it 2 places, and because there's nothing there, we started with 3.75, we went 1, 2, and with that extra space we put in a 0, so it's going to be 0.0375. You can write 0.0375. You don't need to have that 0 at the beginning, you just need to have that decimal. Okay? That's it. That's the whole lesson. This is a pretty easy concept, but you'll get to practice it in your homework today so that you can get used to doing it. It's just going to take some practice. All right, good luck.